The officer's voice cut through the crisp morning air like a blade. On your feet. Now. A pair of boots stepped closer, cracking gravel under polished soles. The man on the sidewalk didn't move. Wrapped in a threadbare blanket, he looked more like a heap of discarded fabric than a human being that a small crowd had gathered, pausing with coffee cups and phones in hand. But no one said a word. The officer reached for his cuffs. I said, get up. You're loitering. You're trespassing. The man slowly raised his head. His face was sun-worn, his beard tangled. His eyes, gray like spent ash, met the officer's with quiet calm. But he said nothing. He didn't need to. That silence said everything. Then, from the crowd, a man in a black suit stepped forward. Trim, clean, composed. His left wrist bore a watch that only a few people in the world had clearance to wear. His voice didn't rise, but it stopped everything. Officer, he said, steady and cold, you're making a mistake. The officer turned, half annoyed, half challenged. This doesn't concern you. But it did. More than anyone realized, the man on the sidewalk was not just another forgotten face. His name was Henry Callan. 15 years ago, he was First Sergeant Henry Callan of the 82nd Airborne. He'd led his men through some of the fiercest firefights. In Kandahar, once carrying a wounded comrade on his back for 2 miles under enemy fire, he returned home with shrapnel in his leg and a chest full of medals. But no parade, no welcome, just silence. The VA backlog left him without care for nearly a year. His wife couldn't bear the trauma in his eyes. And the night he lost her and their daughter in a drunk driving crash, he lost everything. The streets became his final battlefield. Yet even in the coldest nights, Henry never begged. He sat, still, dignified. He once told a shelter volunteer, I fought for people's rights. I'm not about to trample someone else's just to claim mine. He was a silent hero in a world that had forgotten how to listen, and now, that silence was being twisted into guilt. The officer's hand hovered above his radio. Back away, sir, he warned the man in the suit. But the suit didn't move. Instead, he reached into his inner coat pocket and pulled out a leather badge holder. The gold eagle glinted in the sun. The words burned into everyone's eyes. United States Secret Service. The tension cracked like a snapped wire. Gasps. Shifting feet. Suddenly, the silent crowd leaned forward. The agent's eyes didn't leave the officers. That man served this country with more bravery than either of us will ever understand, he said. He's not trespassing. He's standing on the soil he once bled for. A long, painful silence followed. Then, the officer lowered his hand in no apology. Just a stiff nod and a retreat into the background of murmuring witnesses. But something bigger happened next. The agent knelt down beside Henry, gently, with reverence, and placed his hand on Henry's shoulder. The words he spoke would echo through every bystander who dared to watch without stepping in. Your silence isn't weakness. It's honor the world's forgotten how to recognize. Moments later, people from the crowd began to move. A young woman took off her scarf and handed it to Henry. An older man quietly placed a coffee by his side, and someone whispered, I saw him in uniform once. I think it really is him. No fanfare. No spotlight. Just quiet dignity. Shared. Finally, Henry didn't ask for help. But help came because someone remembered. Someone stood. Sometimes the strongest voice, the agent said, rising again, is the one that speaks without saying a word. That moment rippled through the street like a sunrise over frozen ground. In a world quick to judge and quicker to forget, it takes only one voice to remind us of what truly matters: respect, honor, and the quiet battles many are still fighting long after the war ends. Wherever you're watching from, take a moment to honor the silent heroes around you. Leave a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from and if you've ever witnessed a moment like this. And if this story moved you, subscribe for more powerful, real-life stories that reveal the courage hiding in plain sight.